everyone, greetings from National Skills Network. This is Madhuri, and I'm very excited today to have this conversation with one of the directors, from the Visvesvaraya Technological University, and this is pertaining to skill development specifically. And I'm so glad that I'm going to introduce you to a totally different kind of an initiative which is led by a very well-known university in Karnataka, which is one of the leading universities. So let me get started by introducing you to Dr. Sandhya Anvekar, who is the Director, Skill Development Centre at Visvesvaraya Technological University. So Dr. Sandhya, welcome to this conversation. And I'm so glad that, we got this time from you today to know more about the skill development and work integrated learning initiatives, which are into skilling, reskilling, and upskilling from VTU. So let's get started.
Yeah. Thank you, Madhuri. Thank you for the kind invite from National Skills Network. It also gives me a great pleasure to introduce our university and talk about the different initiatives that we have, especially in skilling. Well, to tell about my university, it is Visvesvaraya Technological University, which is the largest university and the single university of technology in the state of Karnataka. So we have around more than 200 engineering colleges affiliated to us. And if you look at the kind of educational initiatives that we have, you'll be really appreciating us. More than 50,000 students per year will be graduating from under our university with all these affiliated colleges. And we have so many other things which we do as the single-handed, monitoring agency of technical education in the state. And if you look at the ranking, I would like to say that what the latest ranking which we had from Ministry of Education and this NRIF, that we are the 22nd state university in the whole country. We are 69th in engineering category and 75th in the university category and 6th in the top 75 state universities in India. And also we are top 15 government technical universities in India. So there are lots of credentials which are happening. Basically, Visvesvaraya Technological University is named after Sir M. Visvesvaraya. I think each one of us must be knowing about the great legend. He has been a Bharat Ratna. He is the pioneer of all the engineering initiatives in the country, and it is named after him. And this is the university which is actually making lots of what you say pioneering work in the technological education, which I would like to share with you all in the due course of the discussion and the conversation. So there are so many things, and yes, coming to what technological university like VTU is doing in state of Karnataka is it's not only the academics.
Right.
I was just looking at the punchline of your network in NSN, making skills aspirational.
Yeah.
So probably that kind of work first you do in the society and then we take them up.
Yeah.
Like if these are the aspirants who are in the state of Karnataka, I think you make skills aspirational, we make skills happen to them. Okay. And these skills make happen their jobs also, the wonderful placements they are looking at. And that is how the university has been working a lot on that. So I think I must tell you just 2 years back, VTU has been into skill development. It has been into academics, but it was more known as an academic institution, academic university, which was doing this technical impartment of education. But today it is also well known for the skill development initiative, which is doing under its different type of locations under its umbrella and all. So now it is not only the technological university which gives the education, it also provides the skills along with the education. So this is what the wonderful introduction I wanted to do with the audience who are listening to me. So VTU is not just an university which gives the degrees. VTU is the university which also gives you the skills that are expected by the industry, and that will definitely give them a wonderful placement which they are aspiring to. So that's about the university. Yeah.
That's an amazing, wonderful introduction to an institution of eminence in the country and in Karnataka, of course. So what I was trying to understand, and also what I could gather is that there has been a skill focus at VTU. And also, I think you will agree with me, when we do this, we are also addressing the issue like, when we hear often people saying, oh, these engineering, the BTech Bs and all these people, they are not hands-on. Like right? We often
Right.
hear this, and I believe that becomes quite a bottleneck for them, when they go for jobs or build their careers. So, are these initiatives really helping the students to overcome this issue through your
Yes,
development center?
yes, yes. I think in this context, I would like to introduce what exactly VTU Skill Development Centers are doing.
Yeah.
VTU Skill Development Center is a center actually which is into lots of skilling, reskilling, and upskilling initiatives,
Mm-hmm.
right? And these initiatives are focused on three important stakeholders.
Okay.
That we have our own students, we also have the faculties who are involved in molding the students, and we also have the general public.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, the general public, I will divide into maybe 2 to 3 categories. Like as you said before, sometime a woman, that can be one category. There can be general masses as another category where everybody comes, and the third category would be the unemployed youth or the aspirants for employment. So these are the three categories. So under skilling, reskilling, and upskilling. So these are the three important, activities of the VTU Skill Development Center. And if you look at what are the expectations of industry about the students,
Mm-hmm.
so we try to give that kind of skill and skill training to the students, and to make those skills happen in the classroom and give them the appropriate guidance. We make even faculties to become trainers into this. And then coming to the general public. So each one I can take separately later in the discussion. Now coming which the question which you asked me, that yes, maybe this is one notion which has been there for a long time. That
Yeah.
engineers are good, they are technocrats, they have lots of innovation, they have lots of creative ideas. There's so many things they're having, but probably along with the degree, they lack the hands-on training. So this is usual one complaint. It's not from LSN which is telling me, but I think industry has been telling this for a long time. Okay, so many decades have gone into this discussion saying that because what happens is usually the classrooms were not attached with the industry. So
Yeah.
academia and industry were two different entities. So what academicians used to do in the class, it was more of, the knowledge transfer, which they knew, than giving the knowledge which the industry expects. But gone are these days, now you don't find, I think, maybe because, the initiatives like NEP and lots of competence is happening. And then when the campaign like Make in India came, so
Yeah.
lots of focus has been given on the hands-on training,
Mm-hmm.
because such initiatives, this kind of policies of the government as well for the industry aspirations, you don't require people who have the engineering degrees. You require an engineering graduate or a person who is competent enough to start the job when he is placed in an industry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so here what happens is hands-on training becomes very important. So if you talk about our own university, I must say very happily, and I must say with confidence also, that we have imbibed the industry expectations into academia very closely. And the role of SDC here is very crucial in this. What VTUSD does it as the first category for the students. We provide them this kind of skilling, reskilling, and upskilling also opportunities to the students in the form of, projects, in the form of internships, in the form of industry exposures, lectures, and so many interactions and all that. So we have tied up with lots of companies. And if you look at, the state university like VTU, which is a state university, it is 100% run and monitored by the government. It's not
Yeah.
a private university.
Right.
So here we have our own structure of, board of studies. So each one of the domains, whether it's a civil, mechanical, electronics, computer science, and all that, we have different boards of studies. And this board of studies are people who are from industry, people who are from academics, and people who are also in administration. So if you look at what is the composition of this board of studies is, these are the people who have their own domain knowledge and expertise. The
Okay.
person who has been in academics, he will tell what academics is the flowing, having the kind of thought process, and what are those things happening at the world level, and how to take into curriculum. So this is what the one particular component which brings very close academia to industry.
Right.
Similarly, industry experts are there who say that, look, we want these type of skills. When your student is coming to us for placement, we want him to know this, because they
Right.
don't want to waste their time on training and developing them and then putting on the job.
Yeah.
So our board of studies actually, they meet often, and the curriculum is revised on the expectations of the industry, and it is done quite often.
Okay.
And it has been an open document where, we also solicit the kind of, remarks and inputs from the stakeholders too.
Okay.
So this is one thing we do when we talk about curriculum. And then coming to hands-on training, yes, we have almost all the departments of VTU which are giving the specialization degrees have their internal centers of excellence. Like we have centers of excellence which are into mechanical alone, we have into computer science, we also have in telecom and in electronics. We also have in manufacturing, aerospace, and defense, and so many product life management, and so many things are there. So if you
Okay.
take any kind of graduation in any domain, you will definitely find one or two center of excellence there. Now, what do these centers of excellence do? They provide the paid as well as free internships to our students. For example, when you talk about computer science, civil, mechanical, and electricals, we have Autodex, Bentley, and Triumph. These are the companies who are tied up with us. And we have 5 to 6 centers of excellence in different locations of VTU. We also have a very big project happening with the Telecom Department of Government of India. So that is a TCOE, which is a lots of into research and consultancy and so many things. We have Bosch Center, which is into manufacturing. That is in the mechanical. We have Dassault System, which is into aerospace and defense. We have Cliff, which is into product life management. And then we also have tied up with our own, sister concerns. As you rightly said before, sometime NTTF, you have interacted with them. Now we have MOU with NTTF also. We also have GTTC. We have Karnataka German Technology Training Institution. Like this, we also have these entities who provide us, whatever hands-on training is required for the students by way of internships. Sometimes the students will also do the certificate courses of 1 month or 3 months, which are jointly agreed with this type of entities under MOU. So here the focus of VTU has been, it's not only the degree, and we don't allow our students to go in search of the companies, get some companies because they want to do internship. One more pioneering thing which VTU has done in recent past, I just want to tell you. In the academic year 2024-25, which is getting over now, maybe by April, May we'll have the exams. We backed a huge project from NSDC, National Skill Development Corporation. Okay, it is a PMKVY project, which 4.0, and it has a skill hubs project.
Okay.
So it runs into crores of worth for investment from NSDC. And we opened around more than 150 skill hubs across all the affiliated colleges of VTU. So every college has a particular batch which is approved by the NSDC under sponsorship. So there are stipend given to the students. There is also financial help given to the particular college which is into this type of activities. And also there is a partner who is implementing this. And this is a huge product, and this is the first of a kind in the country. Today, more than 18,000 students are enrolled into this. Okay. And basically we have started this with IT and ITS related entities. Okay. So this now the first semester of this particular project, semester in the sense I'm telling you the first slot of the internship is over now. It's getting over by March 2025, and successfully around 18,000 students are completing their sponsored internships along with NSDC grants. So there are so many things like this. So now you cannot say that I bet you any engineering graduate today, you ask, he will have some or the other certification course done under VTU or something which he must have utilized what VTU is providing as hands-on training. Yeah.
Okay, that's really a complete picture that you gave us about, the landscape, I would say. I would like to go back to something interesting that you told us. Your focus is in 3 areas, that is skilling, reskilling, and upskilling. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about how you keep this focus separately and who are the likely students for each of these categories.
So basically, even just last 4 or 5 years, I was with the government of Karnataka as a state officer in the Department of Electronics, IT, BT, and all. So I was handling skilling for the whole state under this department. So when I came back to VTU, then I just thought of replicating the model here, and basically we just became one important partner with NSDC.
Yeah.
And SDC at Karnataka state level. And that is the time actually PM Vishwakarma scheme was just initiated by the Honorable Prime Minister. So that was last 2023 end. Okay, so what I just thought of, if such schemes are there, even we can get into skilling for the general public, because what we are doing to our students, that is definitely our primary duty. So what I did was first became very important training partner with the government of India, government of Karnataka, and we bagged our first project with PM Vishwakarma for few of our centers. So only for 1 or 2 centers, I got some target of 2,000 candidates to train. And this was for the training to be given for 18 trades, which were shortlisted by PM Vishwakarma scheme. And it was for the general youth, the general public, who are into the professions like masonry, carpentry, tailoring, goldsmith and blacksmith, and so many mala maker and washerman, and so many. These are the arts actually which are decaying because nobody is there to handhold them or give them any kind of financial assistance. So this was the main focus of this scheme, and we started with that. So 2000 was my first target. which we very honestly and very punctually we finished the target by giving the wonderful training to these people. And that word of mouth reached to NSDC, and NSDC suddenly increased my target to 40,000.
Oh,
So
okay.
2,000 to 40,000, it was just, enormous for me just within the period of 2 to 3 months. So that is the time which I thought, why not open the VTU skill development centers across all the affiliated colleges by getting into MOU agreement with them, and, have the revenue sharing by way of utilizing their infrastructure. So
Oh, okay.
everything will be done by VTU, but, locations will be of the affiliated college, and we can reach out to the maximum number of people in the society. So first we started with PM Vishwakarma. And
Hmm.
then, we have trained now so far more than 3 to 4,000 candidates so far in different locations. So totally today I have around 9 locations of video campuses itself, which are
Right.
our own, daughters, I must say, in the skill development. And then we have, got into around 27 affiliated colleges where we have opened our centers, and 100% monitoring and executing everything will be done by video. So this was the one scheme which we started first.
Okay.
Then immediately we also became active with KSDC, that is at the Karnataka state level.
Okay.
And we also were enrolled for CMKVY. And the wonderful project came in terms of Devraja's other backward communities development, which, like, we have around 11 corporations in Karnataka,
Right.
starting with different communities, other backward communities. And the government gave us a huge project of, for 5 years almost, where we are supposed to train more than 25,000
Hmm.
non-engineering dropouts, SSLT dropouts, PUC drops up to train under different skills for employability. So that we recently backed the project, and now we are doing that type of training also. Now this training will be done for the engineering graduates within the VTU, in the affiliated colleges, in the general public, and also there are schemes specially for women, especially for, dropouts who are from PUC or SSLC. So this is how the VTU is doing even something for the society.
Right. And
So
so,
one way it is for the students, another way it is for the society. Then coming to the women, because
yeah.
before someone asked me this, so there are certain programs under this also, and now we are trying to tie up with some companies for CSR funding, where
Hmm.
probably we will just definitely design our own courses for women, maybe for entrepreneurship, maybe for handholding, maybe for giving them, basic seed capital. So there are
Hmm.
lots of things in our pipeline. So this is how, other than academic skill training, we are also doing something for society.
Yeah.
Coming back to the PM Vishwakarma,
Yeah.
we are top the third best performer in the country in PM
Oh,
Vishwakarma. Yeah. So when there was an anniversary celebration in October end in whole of India, our center at Talkal, which was chosen by the Prime Minister to have a two-way communication. And that
oh,
was the only center chosen from Karnataka, because the kind of, performance we have shown, that was really impressed, and it was noted at the national level.
hmm. So
Yeah.
congratulations,
Thank you. Thank you.
Sandhya, on this.
Yeah.
The exceptional achievements and the work that's happening in the skilling ecosystem. Like you just mentioned, it's not limited to the confines of academic learning or higher education anymore. I think your skilling, reskilling, and upskilling goes beyond that. Like you mentioned, more for the social causes, and also, skilling those who need to be employed and get a source of livelihood, right? You also mentioned about a few centers that you have. Can you tell us how these centers work, and what is the kind of affiliation you have with colleges? And if more colleges in Karnataka want to get affiliated, what would be the process for them?
Yeah. So usually, let me answer the first question.
Yeah.
Okay. So there are so many, linkages within the department which I told you, and these are the centers of excellence which I already mentioned to you. They are
Mm.
into different domains. We have in electricals, electronics. We also have in mechanical, civil, and also for computer science and aerospace, defense, and all that. So these are the centers actually which are within VTU. So
Mm.
whatever locations we have around 9 locations today of VTU own campuses, which are into acres of lands and with beautiful landscape. And there we have our undergraduation and post-graduation programs also, and PhD programs. So these are the centers there which do the domain-specific hands-on training.
Mhm.
Okay. Now, which I spoke to you about the affiliated colleges, those are into general skilling,
Okay.
which are, under the grants from KSDC, NSDC, and other entities of government. Okay, like we have NABARD, we also have, other entities which are give us, for example, it may be IDB also, or it may be some commercial banks who would love to join hands with VTU by way of their CSR.
Mhm.
Okay,
Mm.
so lots of CSR funds also are doing. So here, in the affiliated colleges, we do this kind of skilling, which is
Okay.
generic in nature, which focuses them on the employability and enhancing their productivity and
Yeah.
ultimately getting a job which they aspire for.
Yeah.
Okay. Now coming to the affiliated colleges to get in touch with us. And I will tell you, since you are from Hyderabad, I mean, not from Karnataka, Andhra, I would love to step outside our state also by opening a branch in Andhra also. Sky is
In
the limit if you
Telangana. In
want to do that.
Telangana.
Yeah. So here what we require is, suppose if skill development center is to be opened in any affiliated college or anything anywhere in the country, we have simple procedure. We will have just first level of discussion and then we enter into memorandum of understanding. We will
Okay.
explain to them like, "Look, what is our role, what is your role, what you're giving, what we are giving, and all that."
Hmm.
Okay. And the basic requirement will be 3 to 4, training rooms,
Hmm.
which are supposed to be well equipped. At least one should be a smart classroom, because
Okay.
there are certain high-end courses also. When I talk about upskilling, I
Hmm.
mentioned to you upskilling courses also are there, and they are
Right.
for engineering graduates and even for MTech people also. So
Oh.
suppose we may do something in 4G, we may do something in IoT and all that. So there we require the smart rooms also.
Hmm.
So here, the college which is interested, or even in the institution which is interested in having our branch there, they have to have 3 to 4 classrooms first, and
Oh.
also the basic amenities which are required for the trainees who come there.
Hmm.
Okay, so that includes a lab which is supposed to be for, if it is for IT enabled type of courses. We also require one office space for VTU SDC itself, maybe a small room with basic furniture and all. And we also require the normal amenities of water, restrooms, fire extinguisher, medical help, and then canteen or hostel facilities all. So whoever has this kind of, because there are certain programs which are residential. When
Right.
I talked about PM Vishwakarma, so we will have continuous batches of training there. So here, the students come for the basic training of 7 days at a stretch.
Hmm.
So 9 to 5, 9 to 6, like that, the training will be going on. And these are the people who come from the remote places of big cities. They
Right.
may be from villages because they are the artisans.
Yes.
Yeah, they are the local crafts and all that. So they come to big cities, and accommodation is a big problem. And that is why under sponsorship, the NSDC itself will give some allowance for that.
Hmm.
So we are supposed to give them, accommodation. We are supposed to give them, food and, water, breakfast and other things. And also for that, if the college or if any institution which wants to collaborate with us has
Yeah.
those kind of amenities, we are open to this.
Okay.
Absolutely no issues. Yeah.
Okay, I'm so glad I asked you this also because, as you know very well about this NEP proposing skill-based courses, like from UGC is also recommending short-term skill-based courses. And we from NSN, we have been conducting awareness workshops about NEP 2020 implementation and all. So this point usually comes up, how do typical colleges, let's say a college which is offering humanities and commerce and science kind of courses, how can that get into, let's say, setting up a couple of skilling centers? Because for them, this could be a totally new thing. I'm so glad I asked you this. And also the fact that you just told us it's not limited to Karnataka alone and you are open to other states and we are your neighborhood. So
Yeah.
I would definitely put this forward, maybe, in some other forums also,
Yeah.
as it is suitable. So that's
Yeah.
really nice to know. And maybe we can take this forward later also outside this discussion. Thank you so much
Yeah.
for that. And
Yeah.
before we close this, one very important question which I want to ask you, and probably you can summarize few points for our audiences. When we talk about skills, vocational education, and work integrated, the industry partnership is so crucial. And I think in India, we are still at a very initial stages when we talk about this sustainable industry partnerships, because often it gets limited to placements in many colleges, right? You talk about branded, big brands coming and students getting placed, but it doesn't go so much into curriculum and other things. Even though you have already told us about this, maybe you can summarize few very important points for our audience to know how you can engage with the industry on a long-term sustainable kind of a basis.
Yeah. See, actually, the most positive point with the industry today is they have lots of CSR funds.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and these CSR funds are usually utilized by them to add value to the society
Right.
or to whichever entity they are going to collaborate. So when you talk about our students, because again the same complaint which you talk hands-on training or lesser, people are not having those basic skills which are required by the industry and all. So here what model we have followed here for collaboration is there are two things. One
Mm.
thing is what industry wants to make the academia to know about themselves. Because so far we have spoken on the engineering education and the skilling and everything related to that. But
Right.
definitely there are skills required even for the non-engineering faculties. For example, commerce or maybe science or even for arts. Now,
Mm.
the common thing which we everywhere we see that the soft skills.
Right.
Yeah, many times the student may be very bright in getting the accolades for his academics and all, but if he doesn't put up himself to project what exactly he is, he fails. He
Mm.
doesn't get a job also, he may not be impressing anybody. So here the
Mm.
soft skills play a very important role. And most of the industries today, I'm finding, dependent on the domain which they represent, they invest into a lot in this. For
Mm.
example, the companies like Tata's or Bajaj, or the Bosch, which I have seen, they come down to academia and they have a collaboration. They open their own centers of excellence under CSR.
Mm.
Yeah. So here what happens is the basic investment is done by them way of hardware, software, and what and all infrastructure required and all. And the institution which is going to collaborate with them is giving only the infrastructure like space
Mm.
and maybe the connectivity of the internet and what and all other basic amenities required. So this is one good thing is happening now. What I suggest all the academic institutions who are interested in going for such type of tie-ups to
Yeah.
contact such industries who are into CSR very aggressively. For
Mm.
them also they have crores worth the crores of funds which are to be utilized within one particular financial year.
Right.
Now that has happened with NSDC also for us. NSDC also had earmarked some type of funds for only for academics. So it was for hands-on training, it was for internships, it was for global internships, local intern, whatever, and national internships. We backed that. So
Mm.
similarly, every industry has that. So academia has to step forward to find out who are these people who would love to come to academia, get them inside your institution, enter
Right.
into MOU, okay, and have the joint partnership there of opening up a center of excellence or getting their programs imbibed in your own curriculum or in your own structure of giving education,
Mm.
and also have a nowadays the companies also are very open about placements, because if they open up a COE or if they give the certificate courses which they are offering through the joint partnership with the academia and themselves, the focus is on placements only, the focus is on employability. Okay, so here the placement connect also is directly done with the industry.
Mm.
So
Right.
this wasn't unlike, this wasn't like this before 3 4 years.
Mm.
So today, what and all requirements we find that even industry is very open today. It's
Okay.
not only with the VTU. I've seen in some good colleges in Karnataka, maybe RV College, BMS, PESIT and all that, they are aggressively getting the industry to their campuses. As
Mm.
I told you before, sometime Bajaj into mechanical and so many other things. A very big center worth more than 120 crores is set up in PESIT in
Mm.
Bangalore. Okay. So similarly, the telecom sector, which has opened one CO with us, which runs into maybe 100 crores plus. Okay. So like this, there are so many opportunities for academia. We should
Right.
come forward. We should bridge that gap, which has been told for so many years, so many decades.
Mm.
And you don't have to worry about placement because the industry is training your student directly, indirectly today, and they will take them into the workforce.
Right. Yeah.
So gone are the days now we don't have to worry about, students do not have works for hands-on training, they don't have placement, nothing. It's not like that. It is only that we have to mold them. We have to give them opportunities. And a premier technological university like VTU is aiming that. So we have a visionary Vice Chancellor, Sir Dr. Vidya Shankar. He has been here for more than 2.5 years now. And we are seeing spectacular changes happening with our policy, with our focus,
Mm.
with our aggressive, promotion of that VR technology along with skills.
Mm.
So I think if this approach is taken, and that is why I'm telling you the pioneer project of NSDC having internships more than 18,000 students at a stretch. It's not a
Yeah.
joke.
Mm.
That we did. And we also are having a common platform now. Here we have done quite more than 40-50 MOUs with different companies. We are giving them, space in our one common platform where the student will be able to choose the company which he
Yeah.
wants to go for internship. So there are paid internship, there are unpaid, there are free CSR and so many. All those opportunities will be available for all the students in Karnataka to do
Okay.
internship within India, outside India, also within state, outside state. Okay. And if he is able to afford to pay for the internship, he can do that. If he wants to choose a open one, he can take a free one. And this has definitely a connect with the placements. Since
Okay.
these are offered by the industry, they cannot deny tomorrow saying that, particular student has passed my certification and he is not employable. So it is their own lips and their own teeth,
Yeah.
which
So,
is beneficial to the students.
okay. So this platform you mentioned, it's like a digital platform or
Exactly. Yeah. So we have developed a digital platform and it was recently launched also. And I think
Hmm.
after some days it will become operational. So whichever company has done MOU with VTU, whether it is for research, consultancy, internships, anything, we are giving them open, presence there in the platform. And
Okay.
this platform will be available to anybody in the world also.
Okay.
I
Okay.
would like to mention in this context that last year we got the Economic Times Excellence Award
Hmm.
for our distance education platform, that
Hmm.
we have reached lakhs of students throughout world who
Hmm.
have done online courses with VTU, and we got the excellent. I hope you know about 80 hours is a very proud achievement for us. So this
Right.
is how VTU is doing lots of strides into technology as well in the skill development.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much also for mentioning about internships, which is now becoming another very important means of industry integrated exposure and enhancing employability. Is there anything else that we missed and you want to share with our audience?
Yeah. So what I feel that today any academic institution should not only aim at giving knowledge transfer, because
Yes.
that is the very age-old type of objective we had. If you
Hmm.
look at AICTE norms and all, for so many decades, they have been telling, you have three things you have to do. You have to do teaching, you have to do research, you also have to do consultancy. So teaching has been done for so many decades now. Research also has been taken because it became very crucial for maybe for your placements, maybe for your academic credentials, or maybe because you are innovating in your own ideas, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. But consultancy is one thing which has been, lagging behind.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
if you look at what CSR initiatives I said or CSR funds the companies have, I think all the academic institutions also has to look at consultancy is a very important objective today, because consultancy is not just getting funds to your institution. We have an opportunity for us now to get them for internships, placements. We also can get them for certificate courses and so many things. So
Right.
here there is a revenue sharing model.
Hmm.
Okay. We give infrastructure, the company gives the CSR funds, our company invests and all that. So whatever revenue is being generated, that also can be shown as a consultancy income. And here is another advantage that, most of the time the industries are focusing on our own faculties, especially engineering faculties who are competent enough to become trainers.
Yeah.
So automatically there is an upgradation of, faculties from just being a teacher. They also are becoming trainer in the industry. Faculties can be upgraded, they can be upskilled, and they
Yeah.
have become professional trainers in the industry. So lots of avenues are available, and I
Right.
think we can focus more on this.
Yes, that's really good. You added this point because the faculty development and the training of trainers also becomes important when we are talking about industry integrated education. Because they also need industry exposure, which is, as you said, is lacking in many of them because they directly come from academics as a student and then they enter, into
Yes,
the,
yes.
and then they become the faculty without any industry exposure. So I
Hands on
think
training. Yes,
it's an
yes, yes.
important point you mentioned. So thank you so much, Dr. Sandhya, for sharing all these insights and also your experience and also educating us about VTU. It's such an important thing that we get to learn today from all that you shared, and especially the focus on skilling, which is becoming a very big, national agenda, I should say now that we have
Yes.
realized that industry also wants their employees to be first day productive, as we say, right? They are not going to spend time training them and things. So I think that way, this conversation is going to be very meaningful and quite resourceful for our audience. Thank you so much. And I look forward to be in touch with you.
Sure. Thanks a lot for inviting me. Have a
Thank you.
great day. Thank
Thank
you.